the complete guide to building healthy habits that actually last. Have you ever felt motivated to get healthier only to lose momentum a few days or weeks later? You tell yourself that the time will be different. You make a plan, you buy better food, you promise yourself you will work out, sleep earlier, drink more water, stop snacking, and finally get your lives together. And for a short time, it feels possible. Then real life shows up. Work gets busy, you get tired, stress builds. One workout gets missed, one meal goes off track, one late night turns into three, and suddenly it feels like you are back at the beginning again. If that sounds familiar, you are not lazy, you are not weak, and you are definitely not alone. The truth is, building healthy habits is not hard because people do not care. It is hard because most people try to change their lives in ways that do not fit real life. They rely too much on motivation, expect themselves to be perfect, and build more routines that only work when everything is calm, organized, and convenient. But lasting habits are not built that way. They are built through realistic actions, repeated often enough to become a part of daily life. In this video, we are going to talk about healthy habits in a practical and realistic way. We will cover why habits matter so much, why people struggle to keep them, what makes habits stick, what common mistakes get in the way, and how to build routines that actually last. Because long term health is not built through one burst of efforts, it is built through patterns. And the good news is that you do not need to fix everything today, you just need to start building habits that can survive normal life. Let's begin with one important truth. Health habits do not need to be extreme to be powerful. A lot of people think change happens through big moments. A new diet, a hard reset, perfect Monday, a burst of motivation, a dramatic transformation. But real health usually does not change that way. It changes through habits. Habit matters because they shape what you do without forcing you to think through every decision from scratch. When something becomes part of your routine, it requires less mental energy. You do not need to negotiate with yourself every time. The actions start to feel more normal, more automatic, and more connected to daily life. This matters because health is rarely decided by one meal, one workout, or one good day. It is decided by repeated patterns. One work does not transform your body, but walking regularly can. One bed, one better night of sleep does not fix everything, but sleeping better most nights can change your mood, energy, appetite, and resilience in major ways. One balanced meal does not create perfect health. Building better meals again and again can improve your life in ways that feel surprisingly powerful over time. This is why habits matter more than intensity. Short-term effort may feel impressive, but habits are what stay with you when motivation fades. And motivation always fades at some point. That does not mean you fail. It means you need something stronger than a temporary emotional push. You need a structure that keeps going even when life feels ordinary, stressful, or imperfect. That is what habits do. They carry health into real life. One of the most frustrating parts of trying to get healthier is the feeling of always starting over. You begin, you stop, you restart, you lose momentum, you try again. After a while, it can feel like you are not making real progress at all. But this cycle usually does not happen because someone is incapable of change. It usually happens because the method does not fit reality. A lot of people build their plans around an ideal version of life. In that ideal version, they wake up early every day, always have energy to cook, never feel stressed, always have time to exercise, and never get torn thrown off by work, family, travel, emotionals, and exhaustion. But that is not how life works. Real life includes bad sleep, busy schedules, mood changes, social events, cravings, illness, stress, and random disruption. If your routine falls apart every time life becomes normal, the problem is not necessarily your discipline. The problem may be that the plan was too fragile. Another reason people keep restarting is the all or nothing mindset. They think if they cannot do the full habit, there is no point to anything. If they cannot do the full workout, they skip movement entirely. If they cannot eat perfectly, they let the whole day collapse. If they miss 2 days, they act like the weekend is ruined. This mindset turns small mistakes into major setbacks. And finally, many people keep starting over because they treat motivation like a permanent resource. It is not. Motivation is useful, but unreliable. It rises when you feel inspired and disappears when life feels hard. If your habits only exist when motivation is high, they will always feel unstable. That is why healthy habits must be built to survive lower motivation days too, because those are the days that decide whether habits last. Motivation is often where healthy change begins. You see a health scare, you feel uncomfortable in the body, you get tired of being tired, you want better energy, better digestion, better sleep, better discipline, or better long term health. That spark matters. But motivation is not enough to carry you for months or years. The people who stay consistent are not always the most motivated. They are often the people with better systems. A system is something that makes healthy action easier to repeat. A system might be laying out workout clothes the night before. It might be keeping fruit, yogurt, eggs, oats, and easy protein sources in the house. It might be having a short walk route you already know. It might be going to bed at roughly the same time each night. It might be meal prepping one simple lunch instead of trying to cook something different every day. System reduce friction, and friction matters more than people think. When something feels hard to begin, they are less likely to do it regularly. When something feels easy to begin, your chances of repeating it improve. A good system does not make healthy living effortless, it makes it more realistic. This is especially important on stressful days. When energy is low, you usually do not rise to your goals, you fall to your systems. That is why building system is one of the smartest things you can do. Motivation can light the fire, but systems keep it burning. If there is one mindset that destroys my healthy habits than almost anything else, it is all or nothing thinking. This mindset sounds like if I cannot work out for an hour, there's no point. If I eat one unhealthy thing, the day is ruined. If I miss a few days, I might I might as well quit. If I cannot do it perfectly, it does not count. This way of thinking feels intense, but it quite makes consistent harder. Because real life is not perfect. Some days you will have time for a full workout. Some days you will only have 10 minutes. Some days your meals will very balanced. Some days they will just be decent enough. Some weeks you will sleep well. Some weeks life will be messy. The all or nothing mindset cannot handle that reality, so it keeps collapsing. The better mindset is flexible consistency. Flexible consistency means you keep the habit alive even if the version is smaller. A small walk still counts, a simpler meal still counts, going to bed a little earlier still counts, doing something instead of nothing matters. This is how habits survive, not through perfection, through repetition. Healthy habits usually become strong because you keep showing up in imperfect ways, not because you perform them flawlessly every time. That is the difference between people who keep restarting and people who keep building. One of the most common mistakes people make is starting too big. Their ego wants a dramatic change. It wants to go from no routine to complete transformation. It wants to train every day, eat perfectly, sleep perfectly, hydrate perfectly, meditate, meal prep, track everything, never miss. But the bigger the start demand, the more fragile the habit often becomes. That is why one of the smartest things you can do is start smaller than your ego wants. If you start to build a walking habit, begin with 10 minutes. If you want to strength train, begin with 2 or 3 realistic sessions per week, not 7. You want to improve breakfast, start by adding protein instead of redesigning the entire diet overnight. If you want to sleep better, begin begin with a more consistent wake-up time or a calmer bedtime routine. Small habits may seem unimpressive, but they are easy to repeat, and repetition is what matters first. The early stage of habit building is not about proving how disciplined you are. It's about making the habit stable enough to survive. A habit that feels easy to keep is often better than a habit that feels exciting but collapses quickly. This is one of the hardest truths for people to accept because small beginnings do not feel dramatic. But dramatic is not the goal, lasting is the goal. A lot of people treat healthy living like a test of character. They assume the strongest people simply resist temptation better. But behavior is influenced heavily by environment. If unhealthy food is always visible, convenient, and heavily rewarding, it is hard to ignore. If your phone is next to your bed, sleep habits are harder. If you have to make 100 decisions every day before a healthy action becomes possible, consistency becomes harder. Your environment is always pushing you towards certain choices. That is why changing your environment can make habits easier. Keep healthier food visible and easy to reach. Make water easy to grab. Put workout clothes where you can see them. Charge your phone away from bed. Choose walking routes that are simple and familiar. Reduce obvious triggers where possible. This is not laziness, it is intelligence. You are shaping the environment so that healthy behavior requires less constant resistance. The goal is not to prove that you can win a daily battle against chaos. The goal is to reduce unnecessary struggle. Healthy habits become much more realistic when your environment stops working against you so aggressively. A habit becomes stronger when it stops feeling like something you are forcing and starts feeling like something that matches who you are becoming. This is where identity matters. Instead of saying, I'm trying to work out, you begin to think, I'm someone who moves my body. Instead of saying, I'm trying to eat healthier, you begin to think, I'm someone who supports my health with food. Instead of saying, I'm trying to sleep better, you begin to think, I'm someone who respects recovery. This may sound small, but it changes the emotional weight of the habit. Because when a habit aligns with identity, it feels like less punishment and more like self respect. This also matters after setbacks. If you believe you are someone who always fails, every mistake confirms that story. But if you believe you are someone who is learning to take care of yourself, setbacks become part of the process instead of proof that you should quit. Identity does not change through positive thinking alone, it changes through evidence. Every time you take a walk, choose a more balanced meal, go to bed early, stretch, drink water, or return after a rough day, you are collecting evidence for a new identity. That evidence matters. You do not need to become healthier only by chasing the results. You become healthier by repeatedly acting like the kind of person who values health. A habit that only works in perfect conditions is not strong enough yet. This is why healthy routines need to fit your actual life, not your fantasy life. Your actual life, that means your schedule matters, your stress level matters, the budget matters, your family situation matters, your energy pattern matters, your environment matters. If you hate mornings, building your whole plan around only morning workouts may not be wise. If weekdays are chaotic, maybe some kind of meal prep repetition has more than trying to cook creatively every night. If going to the gym feels like too much friction, maybe home workouts or walking are a better bridge. If you are exhausted at night, maybe the most useful first habit is not a hard fitness plan. Maybe it is improving sleep. A realistic habit asks, what can I repeat inside the life I actually have? This is a much more useful question than what is the perfect routine? Because the perfect routine is often imaginary. The realistic one is the one that grows, and the one that grows is the one that lasts. A lot of people damage good habits by measuring progress too narrowly. They only look at the scale, or only at appearance, or only at whether they perform perfectly. That creates frustration very quickly, because healthy habits often improve your life before they dramatically change your body. Better sleep may first show up as better patience. Walking more may first show up as better mood. Balanced meals may first show up as fewer cravings. Strength training may first show up as daily tasks feeling easier. Stress management may first show up as less emotional eating. These changes matter. They are real progress. It is useful to track more than one thing. You might track consistency, energy, mood, sleep quality, walking frequency, strength levels, digestive comfort, meal structure, daily steps. These measurements help you see progress at a mirror or scale might miss in the short term. This matters because habits are easy to continue when you are notice that they are actually improving your life. Progress is not only physical, it is functional, mental, emotional, behavioral, and all that counts. Habits are easier to build when they are attached to something that already happens regularly. This is often called habit stacking. In simple terms, it means linking a new habit to an existing routine. For example, after I brush my teeth, I fill my water bottle. After lunch, I take 10-minute walk. After dinner, I prepare tomorrow's breakfast. After I make coffee, I take my vitamins. After work, I change into walking clothes. This works because routines create anchors. And when a behavior flows freely with no clear place in your day, it is easier to forget. When it is linked to something familiar, it becomes more automatic over time. This also helps reduce decision fatigue. You are not constantly asking, when should I do this? You already know the habit has a home. This is one of the reasons healthy living gets easier when routines become more structured. You stop relying on constant inspiration and begin relying on rhythm. And rhythm is powerful. The body and mind respond well to patterns. A lot of people think successful people stay consistent because they never mess up. That is not usually true. Successful people often stay consistent because they recover faster. They do not need treat one bad day like the end of the story. They do not turn one missed workout into a lost month. They do not turn one week off track into full surrender. They reset. That ability to return matters more than perfection will ever will. Setbacks happen because life happens. Travel, stress, illness, burnout, low mood, family pressure, schedule disruption, unexpected events. None of that means your habits were fake. It means you are human. The real skill is learning how to come back without karma. Sometimes that means doing the smallest version of habit. Sometimes it means restarting with one simple meal, one short walk, or one earlier bedtime. Sometimes it means stopping the shame's beetroot before it grows. The faster you can return after imperfection, the stronger your habits become. Because strong habits are not built by never getting knocked off, they are built by learning how to recenter quickly. Many people talk about healthy habits as if they only include doing more workouts, more discipline, more productivity, more rules, more output, but the rest is part of health too. Recovery is not laziness, sleep is not weakness, quiet is not waste time. A healthy life includes habits that restore your body and mind, not just habits that demand more from them. This may include going to bed early, reducing screens before sleep, taking breaks during day, walking without your phone, saying no to unnecessary commitments, creating calmer evenings, breathing more slowly, making space for stillness. Many people fail at health habits not because they are undisciplined, but because they are under recovered. They are trying to build a better routine on top of chronic exhaustion that rarely works well. Sometimes the most important habit is not adding another challenge. It is helping your body trust rest again. Because a healthier life is not built by pushing harder forever. It is built by balancing effort with recovery. There are several common mistakes that make healthy habits much harder than they need to be. One is trying to change everything at once. Another is starting with routines that are too extreme to survive real life. Another is depending too much on motivation and not enough on systems. Many people also make the mistake of choosing habits they secretly hate and assuming they just need more discipline. Others track progress too narrowly and miss important improvements. Some people create goals but never shape their environment to support them, and many people use shame as motivation, thinking harsh self-criticism will make them more consistent. It usually does the opposite. Shame often leads to avoidance, emotional eating, all or nothing thinking, and giving up faster after setbacks. Another major mistake is treating one imperfect day as a reason to restart from zero. You are almost never actually back at zero. You are usually just in the middle of messy process. This is a different thing. The healthiest habits are usually built by people who stop trying to be perfect and start trying to be steady. When people feel overwhelmed by health advice, it helps to remember that a few core habits often have a large impact. Move your body regularly, walk more, strength train when possible, eat more balanced meals, get enough protein and fiber, drink more water, sleep more consistently, reduce obvious excess, manage stress more intentionally, sit less, recover better. These habits may not look exciting online, but they are powerful in real life. And what makes them even more powerful is that they help each other. Better sleep supports better eating supports better energy supports movement, movement supports mood and digestion, better stress management supports all of it. This is why healthy living works best as a system. You do not need 50 habits, you need a strong foundation. If all of this sounds helpful but also overwhelming, here is a good news. You do not need to build a perfect life this week, you just need to begin. Start with one or two habits that feel both meaningful and realistic. Maybe that means walking every day for 10 minutes. Maybe it means adding protein to breakfast. Maybe it means going to bed 30 minutes earlier. Maybe it means drink more water. Maybe it means stopping the late night scrolling that ruins your sleeping. Pick habits that actually fit your life. Keep them simple, make them visible. Give them a place in your day. And once they begin to feel more natural, build from there. This is how real change happens, not through one dramatic reset, but through all small habits repeated with enough patience to become part of you. Healthy habits are not built in one perfect week. They are built in the ordinary days, the busy days, the stressful days, the imperfect days, the days when motivation is low but you still choose to do something supportive. That is what makes a habit real. Not intensity, not perfection, repetition. You do not need to become a completely different person overnight. You do not need the perfect routine. You do not need to fix everything at once. You just need to start living in a way that supports your health more consistently than before. One walk at a time, one meal at a time, one bedtime at a time, one reset at a time, one habit at a time, because the healthiness life is not built through dramatic effort that quickly disappears. It is built through habits that stay.